Morning here at North Atlantic Power Products with Ben Allen. Ben, what is a marine gear?
A marine gear is a coupler between the prop shaft and the engine. Comes in different ratios, sizes, down angle, straights, spec'd out for different hulls for the ratios. It's the coupler for forward and reverse of their prop shaft.
All right, so it takes an input.
Power in from the engines.
So the engine, let's say, is doing 1,800 RPMs, right?
Yep.
So 1,800 RPMs is going in there.
You get 2-to-1, 1-to-1s.
So different ratios.
To your output speed.
So if that's 1,800 going in and you had a 2-to-1 ratio, you'd have 900 coming out. So that's fairly simple, right?
Yep.
It also provides reverse.
Reverse, which is the same ratio in reverse. You don't have differing ratios for forward and reverse.
So 1,800 going in, 900 coming out.
Yep.
In reverse.
Yep.
So that's fairly simple, right?
Yep.
There have been 2-speed gears in the past, but in general, 99.999% are 1-speed gears.
Single speed gears.
All right. So fairly simple. In, out, reduced by the reduction ratio.
Yep.
All right. What are the other things you find on a gear?
You have electric shift, manual shift, valves. With the twin disc, you can have the MGX shift, which is proportional and has like an internal control feature. So you can slip that output speed, modulate it down to a lower, say 20 RPMs to your 600 coming in.
So I've heard that almost described as like hydrostatic, like on a lawn tractor.
Yeah.
So you start from 0 up to its maximum.
Yep.
It doesn't start off normally.
Start off at, like, if you're running a 2-to-1, it doesn't start at 300 RPMs. You can modulate it down to 20.
Down to 20. So very cool.
Creep the boat right along.
That's
That's specific to twin disc transmissions.
And those are the MGX.
MGX.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And what other things do we find on a marine transmission? What's this black thing?
It's your oil pump, charge pump to feed the valve, flow oil to the cooler. All specific to this.
Now the oil's cooled. The oil gets hot because it's in there.
Oil gets cooled, either raw water to the engine, like through the engine water pump, or the engine has a pump or a cooler mounted to it that actually cools with coolant.
Yep. A heat exchanger.
Heat exchanger coolant.
Yep. What about PTOs?
You can add PTOs, live, clutchables. They're direct coupled to the input shaft coming through from the engine, so it'll spin at engine speed.
So there's a gear in there.
Yep.
And then a small set of other gears in a housing.
Yep.
That are then attached.
Different drives. You can mount different pumps. Do different things with them. Either power steering pumps,
water pumps.
Water pumps.
You're just scabbing power off the gear to drive other utilities on the vessel. And one of the things I hear people ask all the time is oil. Like I've seen people talk about transmission fluid and ATF and that kind of stuff.
These bigger gears, you don't want to run ATF. Twin disc recommends you a 30 or 40 weight. Some locations recommend a 50 weight. You can get into some of the really big twin disc transmissions. Until you get down into the really small stuff that are not really clutches in them, they then recommend ATF.
But in general, when we're talking about marine gears and
this size marine gear is pretty much all 30 weight, 40 weight, depending on where they are for water temps.
And how often do they change the fluid?
Every 1,000 hours or 6 months. What Twin Disc recommends.
Okay. Any other maintenance tips that just as the general public would want to know about?
No, check the oil with it running at idle.
Check the oil while it's running at idle.
Yep. It's the biggest misconception. Everybody checks it shut off in the morning like they do their engine, but these you actually want to check running at idle.
Well, very cool. That's a marine gear. It's a twin disc marine gear specifically.
This is a 5114 SC.
5114 SC. SC
straight.
Means in general that the input's coming in here and the output is coming out.
There's no angle between input and output.
Right. They're parallel to one another. Right? So input, output. There's a drop down between the two. You can also have it coming out at an angle.
Which would be an A.
A, right? That's the A nomenclature. So
MG
5114 SC parallel or MG 5114A down angle.
Yep.
Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate your time this morning.
No problem.